Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Friday, July 25th. It does not feel like Friday to me. It is the third day of Steelers training camp here at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. Well, I'm actually not on campus right now at my hotel room, but it doesn't feel like Friday because when you get into training camp mode, there are very few days off. There are long weeks, and every day feels the same. And I actually love this part of the season where we get into this super grind. I mean, I was up yesterday at 7:45 for my hit on the DVE morning show. I didn't get done writing until 8:45 at night. Then, of course, working, but not really working, out, meeting people and doing things like that after. So these are long days, but I love them. But it definitely does not feel like a Friday for me. I hope it does feel like a summertime Friday for you, and I hope some of you are getting to the chance to come out to Latrobe this weekend. Going to talk more about the Steelers secondary this morning because I think it's probably the biggest area where we were able to learn things from that first day practice. I mean, look, you want to break down Aaron Rodgers' play, comparing 15 years of NFL performance to one training camp practice. I don't feel like we learned anything about Aaron Rodgers. Not like he's washed up because Patrick Queen intercepted his first pass or something like that. We know who Aaron Rodgers is, what he's all about, whatever. But I do think, when the Steelers acquired Jalen Ramsey, how they were going to make the pieces fit in the secondary was certainly something that we did not know when we got to training camp here just 2 days ago. And I think already we've learned a lot. I have a good question here from Drew Johnson, who I want to break down a little bit. He asked about playing Darius Slay at free safety. He said he's an older and a good leader. Seems like they do some cool packages where safety rotation doesn't define the coverage because Ramsey or Slay could rotate in or out from corner or safety during drives. Seems like that could be a nightmare for defenses. Feels like I haven't heard a ton about a scheme like that, and we're trying to define Slay as outside corner, and that's it. We'd love to hear Alan discuss that kind of coverage after a night of icy light mangoes. Well, you actually are getting Alan to discuss that coverage after a night of icy light mangoes, and we had another fairly similar question, here on the YouTube channel from Mike Swanhart, who said the key takeaway isn't just where Ramsey will line up, but how his presence will shift the coverage tendencies overall. Last season's heavy reliance on cover one and cover three suggests a defense that leaned on single high safety structures and need capable man-to-man corners to run that. I think that is a wonderful point by Mike. So it doesn't matter what position you're playing if you're playing man-to-man. So, like yesterday, a lot of people said Jalen Ramsey played inside and outside corner. And it really depends on how you define inside and outside corner. He was the most outside corner on the field at the time. He was also lined up across from Pat Freiermuth when he was doing that, who was flexed out to the edge of the Steelers formation. So covering man-to-man against the tight end is the job of a slot corner, not an outside corner. It really stretches and stresses the definitions of these positions, what I think the Steelers are going to do this year. I think Ramsey's going to play safety. It would not surprise me. In fact, we've seen before the Steelers do a lot of, or have done, maybe I should say have done a lot, because they haven't done it in a little while, but where they will swap the roles of the free safety and the slot corner at the snap. So you will have a player walked all the way up to the line of scrimmage looking like he's in man coverage over the slot corner. And that player will bail all the way into a deep half. And that lets that free safety come down on the ball. So, 3rd and 7, the safety can defend the sticks. And, the idea is we don't think they're going to throw deep on 3rd and 7. So that slot corner can, do what they can. We've actually seen the Steelers give up a couple big plays now and again with that rotation. You can remember there's been a couple of touchdowns where Minkah Fitzpatrick would be up at the line of scrimmage and couldn't get all the way back or something like that. They've done that a lot. So, I don't see why they wouldn't continue to do that with a guy like Slay, who's a very capable, experienced veteran, smart, heady player. I know they're going to play a lot of quarters, and so I think it's not about who's playing where. It's just more about changing the roles, the definitions of the roles of coverage players in this defense, where I don't think you're going to have anyone other than maybe Joey Porter Jr. have a static role where they're doing the same thing every play. it's going to be very difficult to determine what the Steelers are doing based on their personnel, based on how they align. And I mean, the coverage disguises they did not do a lot of last year. And I mean, they really have the opportunity to get way in their bag. And I think those disguises hit a little bit different when you are actually having success with a base look, right? If you can go out there and say, and align and say, like, we look like we're playing cover three, and then you go play cover three well, or we look like we're playing man, and then you go play man well, then the change-ups work even better. You know, like for the last few years, if the Steelers looked like they were playing man and then came out in a zone, that should not have been a very believable disguise because they weren't very good at man coverage. They barely played any last year. But now you provide some depth to the disguise, right? And so, yeah, I think that's 100% what this acquisition of Jalen Ramsey is about. You need three great cornerbacks. It's really funny because the Steelers for so long have not valued that slot cornerback position. We've seen it time and time again. They let Mike Hilton walk. They let Cam Sutton walk. They brought in guys like Art Millette, who, you know, is a fine player, but it was not a high-priced addition, right? They come into last season with Beanie Bishop and Cam Sutton. It just felt like they didn't care about the slot corner. And it's such a dramatic shift from years about feeling like they didn't care about the slot corner to now paying Jalen Ramsey $25 million to be their slot corner is a big deal. But that's basically what's going to happen. He's going to play some safety. He's going to play some outside. Slay's probably going to move around a little bit as well. But, man, I think this has a chance to be one of the Steelers' best pass defenses in recent memory. I go back to that unit with Hayden and Steven Nelson. I feel like and Minka and Terrell Edmonds. I think that was a really, really good one. I don't see why this unit can't be at least that good or maybe even better, because I think 1 through 5 they're super solid. We'll see where they go from there, and we'll see how Juan Thornhill holds up. But I think it's a really good group, and I definitely think I'm on the same page with the ideas that you guys have in terms of there's going to be a lot of creativity available to Terrell Austin with this unit this year. All right, that's all I got for this morning. Stay tuned for Steelers Afternoon Drive, me and Smitty. Should be a little bit before 6 today. I'd say maybe like 5:30, 5:45, something like that. And then we'll have a practice report as well this evening. I think that's going to be me and Julie. We're still hashing out the plans for that. So I hope you've been watching those and liking those as well. And yeah, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. There'll be sights and sounds here coming up too. Until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and enjoy.